Hey guys, welcome back. Guess where we're at? You got it. Downtown LA, Daylight Dave. And, I'm going to show you about 10 pictures and fairly quickly. And then, guess what we're going to discuss? Hazardous materials and placement. Only if you guys are interested. It's going to be kind of dry. But figure I'd start with this, kind of make it fun. And this morning, I look out the window and I find this. A stray cat. I call her she because I think it's a girl. Young cat, almost a little older than a kitten. Oh, but she's skin and bones. So she's eaten quite a bit and she's just real clingy. So she's kind of hanging out with me and I feel real bad. Anyways, all that to say, I'm going to kind of stay in, just keep an eye on her. Today on Saturday, and guess what? I don't get any NFL football. So, there was kind of a hillside where I'd go down and hang out. The hillside being right here. But this is cool. This is the SP. And I think that, I don't know who actually owned this, but the Santa Fe, you'd see the Santa Fe. Actually, the Santa Fe, because this was back when the Santa Fe had that bridge going to Pasadena. So, and I'm talking crossing parallel to the LA River. Pretty sure that's the LA River. But anyways, right here, these tracks, all these tracks, go into the LAUPT station, passenger station there, which is really busy nowadays. So, all the different commuter trains going every which way. Anyways, next page. Oh, these are 1988 pictures, by the way. So this is kind of cool. Hang on, cat. Cat's trying to get on the Chromebook. No babies. Okay, so a bunch of SP power, good stuff, fun stuff going. That's looking north towards Griffith Park, if you guys are familiar with that. And Old Taylor Yard, which is still in existence as of this time. Another shot. Look on the left, he'd be going eastbound. This is kind of cool. I thought this is very HO scale-ish, just because of the trucks. You got trucks on a long flat car. I go, man, looks just like an HO scale train. Okay, next up. This is kind of cool. My cat just messed up what else I was going to show you, but or I shouldn't say my cat. Not my cat yet. So this is out by Whittier, and this train, they got a stack train. He's going eastbound as I try to fix this, and you got another train. He's going south, and looks like they still use those tracks. But since this picture was taken 34 years ago, they took out this little section right there, and here's the real picture. So, and they put in another bridge at some point. So this is two main tracks. But yeah, the old curve used to go, it was a tight radius curve, used to go around there. So I thought that was kind of fascinating. Okay, next up. Try to quicken this up a little bit. Now this is cool, and the reason I was looking through my pictures, I was mainly looking for this picture right here. So manned helpers on the rear of the stack train, and then you got a business car. But you don't really see that anymore. I don't really think they do that. But hey, that was cool. If you ever want to run a stack train with power on the head end, and then you got manned helpers on the rear, some SD40s, and a business car. Cool. Okay, hey, Grandpa Rails, buddy. This is for you. You recognize this. Oxnard. 1988. This is the other end of the yard in Oxnard. I think the rail rolled over on him. Neat, huh? Okay. Curt, Berg, buddy. I had mentioned that I was at some point going to show you this picture. We're in Chicago, and this is Chicago Northwestern station. It kind of goes underground behind me where I'm standing. But again, 1988. And his channel is pretty cool because his HO layout is based on Chicago Northwestern and UP in that area with all the tracks going every which way. So, hecka cool. Confusing as heck, too. Okay, that's looking down at the station there from the old Sears Tower. And that's it, guys. Okay, let's talk about, bore you with 8620, form hazardous materials. Okay, this book, as old as it is, This contains all your placard numbers. I call it a crisscross book. Crisscross meaning that you could look up a placard number, and I'll kind of show you a little bit more, by its number or by its actual name, and this is all in alphabetical order in the blue section. So hey, let's just pick one here, one that I could pronounce. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. Okay, so here's 2928. Toxic, solid, corrosive, organic. Neat. And then as a cross-reference guide, the cross-reference guide is in this section here, and it just gives you all the hazardous information, emergency response, and first aid. So definitely a good book to have. Let's just put it that way. So there's some more stuff. But anyways, it's kind of cool because, you know, if you get a car nowadays, it'll actually have the ID number, the placard number, and then you can actually look it up to see exactly what it is. So anyways, okay, so that's that book. Okay, Form 8620, you guys maybe have heard me mention the Form 8620 by the UP. Well, UP puts it out. So let's just, I'm not going to talk too much about all the initial stuff because there's a ton of stuff up here is how things work. And it does state that anybody who's carrying hazardous materials got to have paperwork on it, whether you're driving a truck or running a train. So I'll quickly go over, hang on, I can put the camera down. Hang on. So this is a switching chart. I didn't do an awful lot of switching, so I'm going to mainly focus on placement in a train. But I'm trying to hold the camera real steady in case you guys want to take a picture of this. There's the top part, and I'll slowly go down, but gives you all the information, you know. You can see when moving on over a hump, how everything's got to be placed, and so on and so forth. I'll get a little more detail on the placement and train stuff. So, good guide to have. You had to have it when you're on the road, that's for sure. Okay, let me just kind of scroll down here with the camera, and you guys can kind of look at it and read it if you're even up to it, and then I'll make an attempt to explain all this stuff. So hopefully that focused in for you guys. I'll just go back up in case it didn't. And I'll show you the center part. There's 3 pages, 3 small horizontal pages here. So there's the rest of it here. Let me kind of aim this better. But yeah, there's all the stuff we had to deal with. And you know, mainly the yardmaster had to deal with this as far as making up a train. And I never was a yardmaster. Some of the guys I know, good friend of mine, Matt, if you're out there, buddy, he works, still working for the UP. And probably see him at the train show, Cal Expo late next month. So, okay, here's an example. In the green, there's no restrictions as far as placement. You got those placards. That one's marine pollutant. Some of them hot. We get like it was, I want to say kind of like a tar used for roads. We get a number of tank cars full of hot tar, but no restrictions on that. And there's a close-up of some of the others. So, but you had the placard number in that little horizontal box within the placard. So radioactive, being, well, these 3 are pretty nasty. So there's a lot of restrictions on this radioactive, and the ones in the blue and in the red, all explosives. Different types of explosive, obviously here. You got different ones here, and this will say 1.3, and this is 1.4, and this is 1.1. So for what it's worth. Don't ask me what each one is as far as the type of explosive, but I could only guess, so I'm not going to even say anything about that because I'll probably screw it up and get it wrong. So I'll focus over here. Talks about buffered cars and all this good kind of stuff. Okay, this is down here. I'll start with this little mess. So the way this works is you read down here, you look at your placard, and if it has an X, then you go across here and you read its restriction. So like this one, do not place a placard card next to an engine, working or not, or occupied caboose, business car, regardless of train length. So any car right here, excluding this, Not a tank car, probably a box car or something like that. Well, it follows this restriction. So all these placarded cars have to go by that rule number 3. And I'll let you just kind of look at this other stuff. And I'll show you how the little color coding system works here. Okay, over here, I'll start with this one. Okay, so we got a loaded tank car. And these little boxes here say a loaded tank car, and we follow down here, can't be placed next to anything in the yellow. So, which is only one or radioactive. So any of these cars placarded with this cannot be placed next to radioactive, all these in the blue, and all these explosives in the red. So that's what that means. See how it says yellow, blue, red. Yellow, blue, red. And pretty much the same thing here. You got this car, obviously can't be placed this, and this. So it just kind of follows that pattern here all through that. So I'm just going to read through this, see if there's anything else neat about this and in this. Okay, let me go on this one here. Let's go number 5. So we got a loaded tank car with some hazardous stuff. Do not place a placard car next to a loaded bulkhead flat car or open top car when any of the lading. So you got lumber. Sometimes we get a bulkhead car, but the lumber is above the actual bulk ends. Lading protrudes beyond the car ends, or if shifted, would produce beyond the car ends. Note, do not place a placard car next to flat cars designed for wheel sets or traction motors, or flat cars with tote bins without bulkheads extending more than half the height of the tote bins. Fun stuff, huh? Okay, let me pause it, try to think of something else. In the meantime, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on this guy or this girl or whatever. But I'm going to take her to the animal shelter next week. Not to let them have her, because I'm going to kind of nurse her back to health and get some weight on her. Like I said, she's just bones, and I pick her up, and she doesn't weigh hardly anything. But just to have her chipped to see if she belongs to somebody, or recommendations as far as putting out notices that in case she's lost from somebody. But I think she got dumped. I kind of live out in the country, and sometimes cats get dumped out here. So, but she's got to stay in because it's been in the mid-30s at night here. Well, one thing, someplace in this book, it says that, say if you're picking up a tank car, as it is tank car, it has to have a placard on all 4 sides. And I've heard of stories where guys say, man, I don't want to pick up some car, some hazardous car. So they end up pulling out one of the placards and they make it disappear. Obviously, that's a big no-no. I've only heard stories about that, so I'm not saying I know anybody who did it. But I'm like, they make one placard kind of disappear. But there's just different classes. Kind of read all this stuff or glance over it as I do. Oh, on our engineer's exam, and it was not an easy exam either. It took a couple hours, but we'd have maybe 5 pictures, and they'd ask you, is this hazardous car correctly placed in your train? And then you'd have to answer the question, and they might say also, well, where can you place it then too? So, but there's the different color codes. And it was always interesting. I was always nervous about it, but somehow I seemed to do okay on that part. Because, like I said, it's pretty complicated. Okay, guys, I'll leave you with this. I just happened to, you guys seen these. These are great. And this is really an older one, but it works fine. But it shows you all the railroads in each state, all broken down in detail, so I use it for rail fan. I've been rail fanning a long time. I'm kind of like, since I work for the railroad, I don't really do too much rail fanning. In fact, nowadays, if I see a train or get blocked by a train, I'm like, damn, getting blocked by a train, as opposed to, oh, cool. So kind of changing that way, unfortunately. And I knew that was going to happen when I started working for the railroad. But anyways, hey, I'm going to go out tonight, since I don't get any of the games here on Saturday. Go out tonight and watch tonight's game, and I forgot who's playing tonight. But anyways, just to get out of the house. And Appreciate you guys, and hey, perfect. I'm at 50 minutes, and I bored you to tears. So, hey, you guys have a great rest of the weekend and week ahead. Take care, guys. Be like me. Signing out.